You got to imagine what it would be like to go to one of your shows if you were one of these people who were like taking your wife out. You were fucking you're a union electrician. You've been married for 30 years. It's like, all right, we got to go do something. Being in a relationship, you got to go do stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's go to this comedy show. And it's like, do you want your wife to be hearing all fucking dick jokes?
No, you don't.
You want to be sitting next to her. You both spent all this money to be in some dank club, and it's like, who here sucks dick?
Yeah, you're 100%. Why do you think I couldn't figure that out?
It's embarrassing.
What do you think?
This
I'm
is what
dumb
most
or
comics
something?
think this way. Well, it's like if you're in a bad room, sometimes the dirty stuff does work if it's late and people are drunk.
Yeah.
And you're in this like fucked up environment. You got to give them fucked up stuff. But it's like the goal is not to be in a bad place. That was a survival move. The goal, LOL Comedy Club on the screen.
Yeah.
The goal was not to be there. The goal is that is step one.
I have to throw all those tapes away. I'm watching them. I have
It's
100 tapes.
It's bad for your soul.
I can't even post these tapes.
Yeah.
Dude, and one thing, I don't know why, maybe from growing up in like different neighborhoods, but I'm walking on stage, I'm like, shit, what it is in the motherfucker, bro. There's a tape.
Oh, that's Youngstown, Ohio. It's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's growing up in the hood.
A little bit of Youngstown
What's up,
came out.
motherfucker?
Yeah, dude. Now I'm watching my Type 5, and I'm standing there with a smile on my face. I don't need to do all this moving. I'm just delivering good jokes, and they're working.
Well, I think that's the other problem now is you can't lean into it too much. That's when if you start thinking like I got the character down, I got to be like the character. That's when you're going to start overthinking, and you're going to start playing into it too much. That also comes across as false.
Yeah.
It has to come out naturally. You got to think. Imagine if you're on stage. Imagine if your parents were there. What would they want to see?
And you know what else? It's like you have to talk to them. Something I see from younger comics. Now, there's like an 8 o'clock show on a Saturday. There's a certain essence in the room. You could kind of get away with just going up and delivering jokes. But if you're going up last on like a 1:30 a.m. show, especially if you're trying to be clean, you have to look at the people and actually talk to them like humans. It's
Right.
something you don't see people do a lot.
That's still your act cannot be about what's going to work at 1:30 in the morning. And
Right.
It's like this is the wrong lesson. These were all the wrong lessons you learned. This is why I was always telling you that LOL was not good for you. It's because you were learning the wrong lesson. You're learning how to pander to drunk people.
Yeah.
What does somebody want to hear when they're drunk at 1:30 in the morning? It's like, I don't know. There's an answer to that question, but that's not going to get you anywhere other than 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
And it's like, how long do you want to be there in that situation?
Yeah.
You got to fight for someone's attention.
Yeah, dude. And it's like even the level of people that come in from the barked in shows, like it's not a good group of people either.
It's just you're starting off on a bad foot, and then you add alcohol to it.
And then you add a bill.
Alcohol, my God, alcohol is more than the bill. That is the problem.
Yeah.
That's been the unifying problem for all of these things. That's why you struggled for a long time. That's why all these comedy situations you're in end up going south.
Yeah.
People are drunk.
Yeah.
There's so much in this world.
It's so much better since I made the rule I don't drink till after the shows. Like I'll have and not even at the club.
Yeah.
I'll go to
There you
Rudy's
go.
and have a beer.
Yeah. Afterwards, business is done.
Business is done.
Yeah. Now it's time to do whatever. But it's like so much of the problem. I'm seeing all these this Fleet Week. So all these sailors are running around. These guys are like, this shirt looks all clean now. Everything's all white on white. But it's like, what's that like after a few hours you're on the town? That uniform, it's made to be like crisp looking. It looks cool.
Yeah.
One little slice of beer, Jack and Coke, your whole outfit's fucked up.
Bro, they got ketchup. They're eating hot dogs.
Yeah, that's why those guys you should be wearing fatigues.
I'll tell you what was so weird, because I live right over here. When I have to cut through it all the time. It's weird seeing sailors eating hot dogs. It's like you expect them to have a steak or sit down with silverware.
Well, you'd think they would do like the napkin in the shirt thing. Where
Yeah.
It's like a bib.
You shouldn't drink with the sailor uniform.
I mean, I think that's why with that uniform, they're like the military is trying to tell you how to behave.
With the white uniform.
Where it's like, you have the most delicate. I couldn't even wear white in a normal situation.
Bro, one of the funniest things I saw in a long time was last night. A dude's drunk, tries punching a cab driver. He's so hammered that it didn't even really work out. But these cops aren't playing around anymore. They really tightened up the city. So about 45 police officers chased this dude. But he was so drunk, he pulled some stupid shit. They didn't even know it was him. Like he went somewhere running, and they were talking to him. And I could see they're like, wait, there's no way that this dude ran away from us if he's this drunk, because the dude couldn't even stand.
Man.
I don't know if the alcohol set in
well,
afterwards,
no, maybe
like the blood flow.
Maybe he's just been acting drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's
this
smart.
dude's like the Riddler.
They stood there. I sat there and watched. Dude, I watched for about 15 minutes.
That's funny.
And they swung on the cop. They arrested him. That's how they knew who it was.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's when you get greedy.
He could have got away with it.
Yeah.
I seen. They were confused. The cops were like, well, was there another person over here? There was
Really?
2 people that looked the same, too.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wonder how much that happens with these sailors. Everybody does dress the same.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's kind of like SantaCon, where if they do something wild and then they just run into Times Square, can you really detect who's who?
Or somebody accidentally kisses your girl. She's like, I thought it was you, Mike.
Yeah, right. Got kissed by 10 guys.
Yeah, we had sailors last night at the show, and this guy's like, oh, yeah, sailors, you guys are gay, right? It's like, yo, they're protecting our country. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, of all the military, we went through this before, but of all the militaries, if you're going to make that joke, there's a reason why,
It's like, yeah, the comedy show, you want them loose. Hey, man, thanks. I went up. Thanks for your service.
Well, I mean, it would be different if they were like army guys wearing fatigues and shit.
Yeah.
Because those fatigues look like you got a gun on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sailors they're not armed. They're armed with knowledge.
Yeah, they're out. And I don't know what it is. Maybe the place we're at in our country, girls don't go crazy for sailors no more.
We went through this a few episodes back. Long-time listeners, it's like that outfit does not look good. They would look so much better any other branch of the military. If you show up with the Air Force and you got like the crisp little triangle hat on.
Yeah.
Or if you were the Army and you're wearing fatigues and you got the dog tag, that looks tough. It looks
I'll be honest, even mall security outfits look better.
People, even girls like cops.
Yeah.
The cops you get to look cool. You have like a very, put together uniform. But the Donald Duck sailor outfit.
The Donald Duck, that's what it is.
You look silly. You don't look intimidating. You look like you're like you look like I could order you around.
And that's the Navy, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm getting excited for the new Tom Cruise joint. You see that?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. We should go watch it together. You go to movies by yourself.
It's like those movies. It's like 3.5 hours or something.
Yeah, they are.
It's
long.
a lot. Yeah.
I went to a theater to see the other Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah.
It was worth it, though. Man,
it's good. I like those
4
movies.
times.
But it's like, those are the kind of movies where it's like, I'll watch it at home and then I'll watch it again on a plane. That's a good plane movie.
That's a theater movie, though.
It is, but it's like, I don't know.
You got to be in the theater where the seats move, water sprays you.
Top Gun was pretty sick.
Yeah.
He's the last guy. He's the last guy of that generation who can still pack him in like that.
Unless Will Smith comes back out.
Even Will Smith, he's still been doing stuff. It never hits.
Yeah.
He can never really bring. He does these action movies that never really like. Besides Bad Boys, but even then, it's not like Tom Cruise is still like running around doing Tom Cruise shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's wild. And he's been famous his whole life.
He's like in his 60s now. But you compare Tom Cruise to like Stallone, where Stallone is like a cartoon version of himself now.
Yeah.
When he walks in a room, he's doing like an impression of 80s Stallone.
Yeah, he does.
Whereas Tom Cruise is still like being like wacky and new.
I like the one thing where Tom Cruise, where they spray him, somebody sprayed him with the microphone. It's online. He's like, why would you do that?
Yeah. The guy has no sense of humor. He's just like, he's pure Tom Cruise. It's like flying helicopters and shit.
I wonder what that ego's like. You think he's got like a crazy ego?
I mean, from everything people say about him, this is like the most driven, dedicated person of all time. He taught himself how to like fly helicopters just for Mission Impossible.
Wow.
He did like 16 hours of like flight school every day after shooting or whatever. Just to do it. Just because like that shit's cool. Most people these days, most actors these days don't have that kind of endurance.
I could see myself if I had so much money, I could see myself getting bored and having to do some weird stuff. It's entertaining right now. You know what my entertainment is? I'll be honest with you. Going into different places and seeing the cheapest meal I could get. That takes up 2-3 hours of my day sometimes.
So you don't actually get the meal.
No,
just checking out the prices.
I'll see where I could save the best, and then I find it. Sometimes I'm not happy, or they'll hit you with that was at 4 p.m. You wait too long, and then you got to argue with the guy. I just went
that was the lunch menu.
Dude, I went to 7-Eleven today in Times Square. They got signs everywhere: 2 pizzas and a Coke for $5. Then underneath it says 7-Eleven rewards app points.
Oh yeah, you always need the app.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to download the app. I got a $5 bill. Do you want to make the sale?
Wow.
And then here's the thing. He goes, okay. After arguing with me, he goes, I'll do it. And he goes, but I got to take your drink away. It's like,
oh, come on.
So I'm like, buddy, I'll go buy pizza somewhere else. And I walked out.
That was not the deal.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah,
remember
how
I
about
told
just
you
pay you. You use the app. Don't you have the app?
I'll never forget them. Yeah, really. Yeah, dude, you got it. Can you click it? I'll give you the money.
You get the points.
I got into one argument at 7-Eleven because they tried charging me tax on peanuts. It's $1.99. I used to buy them every day when I'd leave the pit. I used to work at the pit.
Hell yeah.
That's the 7-Eleven on 23rd Street. Everybody at the pit would go to that 7-Eleven. We knew each other back then. This is around the time I was stealing sandwiches with the newspaper. And, dude, so anyways, the dude's like, it's $2.17, which is just a weird. It's like you don't charge tax on peanuts. Like I do. Like it's in New York. There's no tax ever on like peanuts. And I shouldn't even know that information.
Well, that's because it's there is tax. No one charges it because it's like a bodega.
Is that really what it is?
Well, 7-Eleven, they like
they press that tax button.
No, they don't press the tax button, but they like scan it in, so it's like official.
But if you go to a grocery store like a Dwayne Reed, they never charge you tax on peanuts.
Well, I think that's because it counts as like groceries.
Yeah, it does.
But at 7-Eleven, I think just isn't classified as a grocery store.
Well,
so if you go to Target and you buy that, they're probably going to charge you tax on it because it's
no, not even Target. I do it all the time. I mean, I've been living off peanuts my whole life. I know the tax when it comes to peanuts.
But I mean, in most situations, if you scan it, if you're at 7-Eleven, it's not like that guy has a choice. It's just the fact that you're used to buying stuff in bodegas where everything is just like, they don't even like ring in the register at the bodega. They just open the drawer,
right,
and throw it in there. Yeah.
But the way this dude's, he's like, it's $2.17. I had $2. I'm like, bro, I'm here every day. You know I'm here. Wow. And also, I bought it every day at that 7-Eleven for $2.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, I buy it all the time. It's $2. He wouldn't do it, so I stole him and ran out. Like, I know it was childish.
Wow.
And, bro, there was a picture of me, and I had a really stupid jacket at that point in time with very tight sleeves. I don't know if you remember my jacket.
I think so, yeah.
And I couldn't even – so everybody would make fun of my jacket. So at 7-Eleven, it didn't even show my face, and everybody at the pit knew it was me because of my jacket.
Wow.
Dude, the judgment I got at the pit after that. For being
just because you were trying to not pay taxes.
Well, I didn't even have it. I was I got $2 and I'm hungry, man. What are we going to do?
Wow. I bet those peanuts tasted great, though, huh?
Yeah, they did. I was running, showing them because I thought he was chasing me.
Just you got to destroy the evidence.
Yeah. I was
I don't
running.
know what you're talking about, officer.
Dude, it's so funny. I remember one time I was going to go meet you and I stole a sandwich. I kept looking behind you because the dude chased me out one time.
Wow.
I was like, man, Dan's going to judge me so bad right now.
I would have judged you. Yeah. That is like the perfect crime is eating food on the spot.
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence.
No evidence.
It's all gone. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You throw the wrapper away and you just run. Fucking hard-boiled egg falling out of the sandwich.
And then you're not hungry anymore at that point, so you can run faster.
Yeah. Dude, I used to have to do it. I'd do these moving jobs. I'd be starving and have no money.
Wow. You couldn't just get a sandwich?
I mean, I had no money. Bank account in the negatives.
Yeah, this is you. This is a financial literacy.
Yeah.
This is why we need to teach financial
literacy.
Well,
I need to work more. It's not even literacy. It's I don't work enough. That's the problem.
Well, you got to have like a good rhythm of paycheck spending, paycheck spending.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I just make a lot of money, and then I try to see how long I could go without working.
Right. Yeah.
So believe it or not, I'm pretty good with money. I'm just not good with the work part.
Right. Cash flow negative.
I could keep money for the long. I know how to live so cheap.
Right.
But, it just doesn't last forever.
Yeah. You got to find some new ways to make some cash, huh?
Yeah, I got to figure it out. I really do.
This is the weather right now for making money outside.
It is.
Shit's moving. Sailors everywhere. You'll find a way to
I should get on those handy apps. That's what I enjoyed the most. I got to sit down and figure out a way to do it.
I feel like I've always heard that there's like services where like rich old ladies want to just hire somebody to hang out with them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't make that.
You just hang out and talk.
But they like articulate conversation.
It would be, but I mean, like it would be fun for like every once in a while.
Yeah.
You just get to hang out and like she cooks you dinner. She tells you about I think it's more of a listening thing than a talking thing.
Well, I knew there was the one where you could, a few comics I know did it, you could read to people at old age homes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
You can make money from it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You should do it.
I wouldn't mind that.
Look into it.
My big fear. We've talked about this. My biggest fear about working with old people is that I'm going to get them sick somehow. That's during the pandemic. I don't know. You don't want to get them COVID.
Yeah, 100%. I never even thought about that. You'd probably have to wear a mask nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I want to be direct face-to-face with these old people.
Yeah. And I spend a lot of time with old people. They're nice, but you got to be careful. Like the older ones you would read to, they'll just start making up stuff. You got to,
Right.
You don't want to get in trouble. He tried to suffocate me. There's no cameras
He's
in
from
there.
the government. Yeah. It's tough, too, because sometimes with old people, you can't tell if they're already asleep.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, should I keep reading or do I stop now?
I just had this old lady. I'm just trying to get around her. She's screaming at me in the street. And I'm like, I just had to walk away because there's nothing you could do.
Right.
She's like, get off of my back. I was nowhere near. I'm like trying to get around her. She kept doing that classic New York thing where you take up the whole sidewalk.
Little shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing the little hip shuffle.
Yeah. You got to think this is like for old people who are a little bit like losing, their marbles.
Yeah.
It's a tough city to be in. It's scary enough for regular people. You got to think if you're just like a frail old lady, you still got to get on the Q train and ride around.
I don't know how, it's there's so many bad people in the city. It's like,
you only need one. And if you're an old lady, you got to push a thing of, oranges down the steps. All it takes is one person to bump into you. Your shit's done.
I just became friends with a dude that's definitely lost his marbles. He drinks every single day. He's got one of those big red noses from drinking, that rhino shit.
The liver nose.
Yeah, and dude, he just gets hammered, and he's a cool guy to hang with. I
know
talked
him
to
at the
him
bar?
Rudy's, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is definitely a bar where this guy's always going to be here.
Every day he's there.
Yeah. Those guys get there in the morning. They just drink all day.
Yeah, dude, he just gets smack drunk, starts talking shit to people.
Wow. So do you're just back in the sauce in terms of just hanging out at the bar, or are you?
No, I think after now I'm kind of talking to somebody, so I'm probably done. I haven't been down to Rudy's in like 3 or 4 days, but there is something with me that like last night I did like 5 shows or something, and I'm running all over the city, dude. It's like raining. There's something with me. I just needed a beer. Like,
right.
It's like I had to have a Bud Light. I needed to look forward to it. I had one Bud Light at the end of the night. It tasted great. Like, I hate to say that, but I'm like, dude, I needed it.
You weren't even a beer guy before. I've always known you as a whiskey guy.
Yeah, but the problem with whiskey is that'll actually fuck your life up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, that's why I think this is a better look for you.
Yeah, one beer after
Bud
work,
Light is like, it's a light beer.
It's such a much of a beer. It's like you don't even want to. I mean,
yeah.
I have one beer. I sip it slow. I want it ice cold.
There you go. Yeah, you earned it.
And I earned it.
At that point, you've been running around. Yeah.
But yeah, the whiskey I kind of gotta leave go.
Yeah, that was a good run.
It was.
Yeah. Now
It's
you
easy
just
to
got to
get in
be
arguments.
this one Bud Light and then hanging out with the wife.
I was with my wife. We did my show, and we're hanging out, and it's kind of new a little bit. And this guy, evidently he says he's from Israel. Like, this dude's like, it's my dream to do comedy. He's like, I only have 4 days in America. And he's like, can you just please put me on stage? Everything's bad in my country. Like, guilt trip me.
Oh, wow.
And I put him on. He's a regular dude in New York. Dude, I run into him at the Pear. He lives in New York. They go, yeah, dude's doing comedy. I told him, I said, buddy, this is, number one, this is no way to get around comedy.
Wow.
You don't lie and say you're from Israel. Your whole family's dead and shit. It's your dream to do comedy. You're living in New York, bro. Like,
wow.
I'm like, you're going to see me 100 times more. He was trying to pull the same shit at the Pear. This dude flirted with my girlfriend right in front of me. I'm like, buddy, this is my girlfriend.
Wow.
Some dudes, like, I feel like the guys from other countries, them foreigners, it's really weird the way that they'll just, like, they really love women sexually. Like,
Yeah.
It's an extra level. It's like, buddy, let it go. She's making out with me.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of subtlety in these other countries.
Right.
Yeah, everything is very direct.
He's all looking at her with the googly eyes, but I know you're together, but you are very beautiful. Does he meet your needs? And I'm like, bro,
yeah.
Do you want me to smack you in the face on the street?
Yeah.
That's how far.
You're not supposed to say it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you communicate through eye contact. You don't actually say it out loud.
So he's flirting with her so hard that her friend goes, should you two exchange numbers? And I'm like, yo, why would you exchange numbers with him? And this dude's trying to give him her phone. I'm like, look, babe, let's get out of here.
Next thing you know, he's pulling out the WhatsApp.
Dude, guaranteed. Tap. He probably has. And then he friends requests me on Instagram. I'm like, nah, I got to look and see if he's friend requesting my girl.
You're going to be on some weird app that you don't even know about.
Why are these dudes
why
so
are we
thirsty?
why are we on WeChat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is just what the culture is like, especially if you go to, like, you're in Latin America or you're in different parts of Europe. You're in France, Italy. I think it's just dudes just walk up and steal your girl in front of you.
Shamelessly.
Yeah, and they start singing songs and shit. Next thing you know, the guy's got some sort of stringed instrument and he's like playing a song.
Yeah.
Your girl is getting serenaded.
Yeah,
in the back
he keeps
of
hugging her.
Yeah.
They try to get you to argue with him, I noticed. He was trying to get me to argue. He's like, ooh, you're not happy. You're not treating her right. See this? In my country, we don't do this. We treat our women with respect. It's like, no, you don't. That's what the whole problem is.
Maybe some of them do, but it's like stereotypically, yeah, that's tough. This isn't even an Israeli accent this guy has. This guy's like fake French.
He probably is.
Yeah, there's something about you got to dig deep. This
he
guy,
had a beard.
Talking about Mission Impossible. This guy's pulling a heist on you.
Yeah, he had the nerve to friend request me.
Wow.
He's like, we should hang out. He's like, I'm friends with your girl. I'm like, no, you're not, dude. I'm like, you're not friends with my girl, bro.
Wow.
I already talked to her.
Yeah, that's what you think now.
Watch me find out she's talking to him on the side.
Wow. Yeah, these guys don't. I mean, like, it's kind of like the Pepe Le Pew stereotype, where it's like dudes just don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Or it's like that's kind of like part of the chase.
Yeah.
That's like the old European romanticism where it's like the girl's playing hard to get. So you just like follow her around for a year and every single morning you sing a song on her balcony. But it's like, no, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
You take no and then you move on.
Yeah.
You download Tinder.
Yep.
Yeah. we don't sing songs in this country.
Yeah. This dude wasn't giving up. I see why it works though. I mean, you don't give up hard enough, I guess.
Have you ever actually pursued a girl like that? Where it's like she says no and you just keep showing up?
Yeah, dude, I used to be such a loser, dude. I actually embarrassed to admit this. I loved this girl since like the second grade that lived up the street from me. For 20 years I pursued her,
Wow.
People thought I had a mental issue.
Oh,
and then one day she invited me over and I didn't know she liked girls. I had no clue. So she invites me over and she has a guy over, but it's like, she's not into him. And I was like, I waited 20 years to hang out with this girl. She's like, okay, we could hang out. We could watch a movie. She's like telling me her and her girlfriend were like arguing and whatever. And, dude, I walk into this girl's house and I see she's with a guy and I turn around and leave. And I still kept pursuing her.
Wow.
I would be calling her saying, I had a dream about you last night.
Oh, wow. Well, I think that is like a slightly different from what I'm talking about. What I mean is that she says this girl has like a hard no. She says, leave me alone, and then you pull out a guitar and start singing.
Yeah, see, my
Where
problem
it's like
was...
you show up at her job with like some fucking flowers.
Oh,
and
no,
it's
I
like,
did that.
this guy again.
My thing was I would never ask the girl out.
Yeah.
I would just always like bother her, I guess.
Well, you were always trying to be in the mix.
Yeah.
You figure if I'm just in the orbit for long enough, it'll work out. But it's like, that's not how it works.
One girl worked at Chili's one night, and I brought her a bunch of flowers.
Oh.
I can't believe I did that. At her work, dude.
Guys always think that's going to happen.
Oh, man, I can't believe I did that.
Well, especially at Chili's, because she's not like, she doesn't have like a desk. There's just like a coat rack in the back. And it's
God.
What the fuck is this? No, some asshole customer took up the whole coat rack with these flowers.
Oh, dude, that is so true. Yeah, if she would have had a desk, that would have worked differently.
Yeah. I think that's what guys did in like the 50s in America, where it was like every relationship started off with like there was like a period, because now it's like you're on Tinder, you match with the girl,
Yeah.
so there's already an in. Back in the day, I think you had to like pursue.
Yeah.
So you had to like stand outside of her house and wait, because you didn't even have a phone back then.
Throw
you
rocks
couldn't
at
even
the
contact.
window.
Well, you would just have to just stand. It's like a Back to the Future stalking, where you're just waiting for her to come out of her house, and then you're ready with like chocolates or something.
And when you mix alcohol in it, when you get a guy that will do that, now you get him drunk.
Oh my God.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what tend to happen at the bar. Like every time I'm with a girl at a bar in New York,
Yeah.
those types of things happen.
That's when the guy is like, the night ends with that guy crying outside.
Well, like,
he gets all emotional and shit.
He'll try to diss me, like this dude, not to keep bringing it up, but he was from another country. He had that other country mentality.
Yeah.
And he's trying to diss me with height. Me and you talk about this all the time. We're the same height. My girl, he's like asking her to take a picture of us to prove we're the same height. She's like, you guys are the same height. Then I look down. He's got these the TikTok lifts on. Like,
wow.
But they were like boots, but there's this much.
Speaking of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's like on the bottom of the boot, there's about 4 inches of rubber.
Optical illusion.
So now I'm looking even worse because I'm like, no, let's take off our shoes and go back to back.
In my country, we go barefoot.
Yeah, and it's like, I should just leave this guy alone. Then he starts talking about how I don't grow a beard. He's like, real men should be able to grow beards. And he's telling me, like, that's a thing of a warrior of protection. He's this skinny, frail dude. I had to tell him, I go, look, I do a show here. I said, in another second, I'm going to smack you in the mouth.
Wow.
He's like, so this is your future you want with this guy? Violence? That's what you choose? And I think he started winning her over.
Wow.
He got me and her into an argument, and we separated.
Does he have a beard?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's a nice-ass beard, too.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But either way, we separated that night. I don't know what she did. She probably did hang out with him. He got us in a fight.
You can't think like this.
Yeah.
You have to think positively, you know.
I trust her.
It is what it is. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But it's like you can't, you know.
Yeah, you can't be judgmental.
You can't think about it too much. But, yeah, these guys, I mean, that's just like I think those guys live in a city where it's like everybody knows each other. So it's like a little village with little drama. There's all these little soap opera dramas going on. But that's like opera singers back in the day. That's what they would do. You stand on the street and you just sing up to this window, and you do some really dramatic Italian stuff.
I'll never forget. I set this dude up with a family friend of ours. She was older. Her husband just passed away. She was trying to date again, like 6 months later, and he did the old serenade thing. He's from like the '60s, bro, he really got into it. But what was weird is he's a white dude, and it was like some old black song, like like one
Swing
of those,
Low, Sweet Chariot, or something.
Where he's bitch. He's
singing Otis Redding,
bro. He's doing the face, and she's sitting there. It was at our house at a barbecue, like everybody's over.
Oh my god!
And she's like, "Yeah, I feel awkward that you did that."
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, that is like, it takes balls. I'll give you that.
Well, you got to pick a singer that kind of looks like you. You can't be picking like the deep voice. You know, when you got to change your voice, like, and you're just
you.
Some little white dude.
Well, the problem is that, like, I think back in the day, you used to just get points for being brave. You know what I mean?
And guys weren't as thirsty back then.
Well, people say, like, that took a lot of balls to go up there and do that.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, no, it's embarrassing. It did take balls, but it wasn't for a good purpose.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just shouldn't have done it. But back in the day, it was like any guy who was just willing to go up on stage and sing a song, that was the guy.
And you know those guys.
Standards were lower back then.
Yeah, those guys back then, remember, they'd be, like, mean to their women. Now, listen, you darling, you don't give me no lip, you know?
Oh, that comes later.
Yeah.
You're nice at first. You sing the songs, and after a while, that other stuff comes out.
I don't know if it's AI or what. We got to look it up. But I've been coming across commercials from the 60s, and it's like even like things, textbooks, and they would tell wives how to be. They would tell women. Yeah. Is that a real thing, or you think that's made up?
Some of those stuff is real, yeah.
Yeah, they'd be like, a good husband wants a quiet house.
Yeah. How to keep a house quiet.
Yeah. And then there's the one about like Folgers where he's like spits the coffee out and he's yelling, like the Folgers commercials back in the day.
Yeah. Well, there used to be like video, like it'd be like a PSA about how women are supposed to act on a date.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if the guy drops his napkin, don't pick up the napkin. One of those kind of things.
I seen one where he bent her over her lap and spanked her, and the little girl's like, why'd you spank mommy? And he's like, well, because she got out of place or something. Wow. I had to give mommy a spanking.
Those were the days, huh?
See, my grandmother was a fighter from Italy. You couldn't do that stuff from her. She'd fight you.
But, I mean, at some point, your grandpa convinced her to, settle down.
Well, they split up. She left him.
But at first.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think what kind of songs he had to sing just to get that girl to calm down.
No, you know what he did? He kept going to her work, and he wrote her a letter at Isley's. He wrote it on a thing. He wrote her a little poem. And she goes, yeah. And I go, so it was the romantic poem that made you like him? She goes, no, everything was spelled wrong, and I felt bad for him.
Wow.
And he was a cop, so he would call her. Their first relationships were he would call her to see how to spell the words. Even my whole life, he was still a cop when I was a baby.
Wow.
And he would call her. I'd hear her on the phone. She'd be
how
like,
do you spell brutality?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he'd be like, well, she would change it. He would be like, and I remember this from when I was a kid. I want to make it a bit, but I don't know how. But she would, we'd be kids playing. He'd call her, and he'd be like, hey, and you'd hear him. He'd be talking to her, and he's yell on the phone. Old people, you hear my grandfather, and he'd be like, listen. He goes, I gotta know. Listen, Carmel, tell me how to spell this. He goes, the drug addict broke in through the pharmacy in the back window, strung out on drugs.
Wow.
And she'd be telling him, like, what the? She knew everybody. She's like, the Lordy's kid, he's a nice kid with the nice eyes. And he'd be changing it, but he'd be like, she'd tell him, she'd be like, first word, the drug addict, DRUG space.
Yeah.
He never went to school. He quit school and ran away to the circus.
Huh. See, that's the thing, though, is that, like, that's how you got the girl back in the day. You had to do something. It wasn't just, like, swiping on the app or even just talking to her at a bar. It was like, no, there was a whole story.
Yeah.
And it's like it was presumed that you couldn't just meet the girl. So everybody would have to ask you, how did you guys... That's what the crowd work question is now, is how'd you guys meet?
Right.
There's never a good answer to it.
Yeah.
The answer is we matched on an app. Or I knew her at work. But back in the day, if you did crowd work in like the 1940s and you said, how did you guys meet? It would be one of those weird stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to write me letters where things were fucked up.
Yeah.
And I liked the guy. Or he used to stand on top of my car with a guitar, and he sang songs every day for a year and a half. Eventually, I was like, all right. That's also how women, there would be a part of every story where the woman was like, and then eventually I just couldn't say no.
It is like that.
This guy was an asshole at first, but then he wore down my defenses.
Yeah, they wear him down. What do you think happens? Why do you think that is? It just is what it is.
Back in the day, you just didn't have shit else to do. Now it's like if every girl, it's like you're talking to her, but she could just be looking at her phone.
Yeah.
So it's like back in the day, there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
So all these little dramas, this guy writes to me a letter, that's all you're thinking about for the next day. There's no TV.
Well, I remember back in the day, girls would sneak out their window and go to the drive-in movie with, like, Nicky Kanicki,
Of course. People used to just, like, there was more romance to it, though, because you never know. You get in that guy's car, you have no idea what's about to happen next. You can't even call home.
Bro, people would be playing chicken to win a girl. They'd be driving over a cliff. And now guys are like, I see them arguing at Kane's Chicken, like, come on, you got to get your own strips. It's like, you brought your bitch to New York on vacation. You're not going to buy her chicken strips? Like, what level are you at with somebody? Can you imagine having an argument with maybe the mother of your children that you wouldn't buy her chicken strips?
Yeah, Raising Cane's is pricey. Yeah. I mean, we didn't go to Wendy's for a reason.
Yeah, I guess my father met my mother he used to drop off milk and cigarettes.
Wow.
Yeah, because she had a baby. She had my brother.
Well, I mean, these things, though, it's like it was always like a repetitive, you meet the person a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So it was never like, you're just walking by at a coffee shop and you start talking to a girl. I don't think that's how people met back in the day.
No, I think the majority of people met back in the day is the girl was talking to somebody you knew, and then you kind of got them to break up. And then you start dating her, and then you just don't talk to your friend group no more.
Right. Well, there was like a story. There was something that had to happen, but it was never like smooth. But that's why people also, people stayed married back then too.
That's why I like those old school girls that were still raised like that. I knew a girl, I should have talked to her. Her father was like, no, listen, you have to stay here. I'll let you guys sit on the front porch with the light on. And she was like 22 years old.
Wow.
And honestly, that's the girl I should have married.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have lasted very long for you.
Yeah, she was like, well, when we get married, we can hang out.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends what you're looking for in your life. I don't think she would have put up with you doing spots at the Grizzly Pear.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That would have, would have been a problem after a while. Yeah, it's hard to imagine, like, you think about what these old-ass grandparents were like back in the day. But there was, like, real drama.
Dude.
Where they were like people getting into fights and yelling.
Listen to this. I just found this out. I had no clue. I was way too young. So my great-grandmother, I knew her. I was fortunate enough to know her. And she used to be wild. They told me she would hop on the back of a motorcycle and disappear for 3 days, even when she was like 65 years old. She was married 8 times. 7 of her husbands died.
Wow.
My Papa John, who's my great-grandfather, like step-great-grandfather, he would always say, I'm Henry VIII I am because I survived. Yep. It's
Wow.
like 7 of her husbands
Like
died.
mysterious deaths or like diseases?
One was poisoned, one was stabbed to death in a bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah. Back then there was no cameras.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it was also like, I mean, you get into a fight back then. Nobody knew about concussions or anything.
Well, people worked at the mill back then too.
Oh, yeah.
There was a big mill-driven town. I think one of the husbands got killed at the mill.
I wonder how long back in the day, if like somebody got killed in like a fight like that, how long did people even talk about that?
Maybe 4 days.
Yeah, it was just like a topic of conversation. So you hear what happened last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, old Billy.
It's probably like that with iron workers.
Yeah, caught a couple. Well, now that would be like the government will come in, and it would be like a lawsuit and everything would get subpoenaed. But I think back in the day, dudes you get rocked.
And people were way dumber back then.
Yeah.
Like, I think it has to do with the discipline. Like, my papa's discipline was they would hit him on top of his head with a broomstick.
Wow.
He would have to sit there and take it. Can you imagine? That's why he ran away. He ran away when he was like 11 and joined the circus.
Jeez.
It's crazy when you think back then that was the discipline, or lock him in a closet, you know?
Yeah.
And my uncle was telling me that my papa punched him and knocked his teeth out, his permanent teeth, as soon as he got them.
Wow.
You know, that would make the news now. That would be on court nowadays.
That's true. I mean, they didn't have veneers back then.
Right.
Now you would just get some big-ass teeth put in your mouth. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Back then, when your shit got out, it was out.
And you had to say, hey, did your dad do that? No, he didn't do it.
Yeah, funny story. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's plug some dates, huh?
What do we got? We got Kansas City. I'm going to be in Kansas City.
Did you ever figure out if it was Missouri or Kansas City?
It's
Kansas?
the 16th through the 18th. It's got to be Missouri. My phone's charging.
Okay. What's it?
It's October 16th through the 18th.
Okay.
Headline in there. And then I got July 19th, AC Jokes.
Okay.
Which I'm excited about. I got a few other places reaching out to me. I don't know. I don't even know much about touring, but I was thinking it's probably going to run July through October. I got the first date and the last date. I just need to fill up the ones in between.
Yeah.
That's probably a good...
Well, I mean, this is just, you're always going to need the gigs. So.
Well, November, what I missed out on last year was all those corporate work parties. I got all these offers, and I just didn't do them. And I'm
wow.
like, I got to do that. Like,
there you go, yeah.
November and December is going to be all corporate parties, holiday parties, work parties. January, I don't know. Cruise ships, I guess. I got like 11 cruises for January still.
Oh, wow. Oh, the ones you signed up for before.
Yeah. It's like $20,000 I'm going to make in like 6 weeks.
Wow. I wonder what everybody back in the DR, I wonder if they're still going to remember you.
I'm just going to buy a car. That girl still messages me. She's got 2 kids now. She's like, I wanted to let you know we had another blessing.
Wow.
It's on WhatsApp.